Aren't you gonna come on my lap? Oh, playing hard to get. Welcome back to the worm. Kuiper is really grown up. He's gonna be 9 weeks and a day, so he's kind of a elder statesman. We had horrific, like unbelievable crazy rain the last day and a half. A bunch more trees came down, as they did twice in the last week and a half, that I haven't had time to chop up and move out of the way yet, so I've got a bunch of trails I can't even drive through. We don't really have any interest between the two of us in sleeping through the night. We prefer to sleep till about 4 a.m. and then just kind of get cat naps here and there. Actually, one of us would like to sleep through the night. Come here, meat brain. It was actually kind of a lot of work to keep him entertained just being in here for a full 24 hours. We've only got so many different toys to play with, but he does pretty good. So now that we can get back outside, which is far preferable to being locked in here because he can run around and chew sticks and kind of entertain himself. I went out there and there are puddles and basically lakes everywhere. And actually since this morning, when I went out like at first light, we went for a little hike till now, which is noon. A lot of it's drained, but it's cold, it's like 40 degrees, 42 degrees right now. And even if I take a bed out there for him, don't sleep while we're shooting a video. These people want to see you. Oh, actually, they want to see you in your natural habitat, which is 85% asleep all the time. But I like to be outside all day, and it's fun to have him outside all day. But even if I take a bed out there, he doesn't lay in it. He just lays in all the piles of wet sawdust all over. It gets disgusting, but that's okay. That's part of it. But it takes like 10, 20, 30 minutes and he's shivering out there. So we figured out what our project is for today. We're going to build him a raised dog bed. Probably going to be a temporary one because we're going to make it out of pet screen, the bed of it, and then somehow use ropes or string or something to tension the edge of it. I've got a lot of scraps of pet screen, but I don't have anything big enough to make a bed for like a full-grown Bernese Mountain Dog. So hopefully we can find some cedar in one of my piles to make a frame out of. I'll probably get it all figured and laid out while he's out there, and then I'll throw him back here in his crate for a little nap when I do the cutting. I'm not sure how we're going to tension the edges. We'll use a piece of pet screen, probably put some grommets in it, and then stretch some rope around. And I've done this before on something. Oh, the solar panel frame. I just put a bunch of screws in along the edge, and then the tensioning rope wraps underneath that. Let's see if we can get it all done today. And then your second favorite person, Tito, is going to be here tonight for the weekend. Seems like maybe we're taking a nap before we do anything, though. It's like both sides of my brain's fighting. When he takes a nap, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I can take a nap. Or while he's taking a nap, I can actually go out and do something. Ooh, you're getting whiny tired. I like that. Let's stick him in the crate for a little nap while we go figure things. Here you go, buddy. Have yourself a nice little snooze. He's going down. Oh, there he goes. Oh. Changed my mind. Let's keep him awake right now. He can sleep while we're sawing. Oh, you gonna sleep by the door, buddy? Bye-bye. We're leaving you. I think it was the last video we worked on. The stairs, getting him up and down, and he runs up the stairs now. He's a little afraid of going down. Come here. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. You're doing good. Keep up the good work, sir. Come on. Now we're going to teach you how not to get dirty or wet ever. Is that possible? He's a little bit fearful of some new things. He gets a little shaky, but he gets over everything so fast. Like I put him on here this morning, and he's been on here like twice, I think, maybe 3 times, and he was a little bit unsure, and then look at this, just lays right down. I knew he was over the fear as soon as he started trying to take the key out of the ignition while we're driving. Don't eat that, please. Thank you. No, thank you. I don't know whose bright idea this was to fill all these low spots in with sawdust, but man, they make for a dirty dog. Gosh, it's incredible how much it's drained. All of this was water this morning. Even the tiniest low spots was just puddle, 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 puddle. I don't get too bent out of shape about him getting filthy dirty, because that's expected out here. What are you gonna do? What you doing, buddy? Trying to get filthy for me? I appreciate that so much. Yeah, eat a bunch of it too, please. That's where he always wants to sit. He's gonna get... I've stepped on him like 3 times already too. I think he'll learn that that's not the safest spot. Because a lot of times I don't see him. He sits right behind my feet. I'm gonna collect some cedar branches. I really need to wood chip underneath this, because that's where he lies down. This is just like sticky mud and big puddles. I mean, I do have the shower. It's not like you are at a house where you just turn the faucet on, put him in the tub or something. It's a little more involved, and then I have to keep him someplace while he dries out. So I'm thinking we just leave a little raised bed right here, and he's very easy to train, so I think we can train him to lay there. Or do we train him to lie there? Lay. Who knows? What is it you're going after, dude? Just filth or what? It's not just random digging. It's like you really hear something under there, smell something. Oh, you just want to lay in it? Just let him do it. Let's see, do you want black or do you want tan? They both kind of match you. I guess the tan would be less hot if it still fits him after he gets a little bit bigger. Wow, that's hardly big enough. What do you think? Do you want to sit there? Yeah, that's not going to last very long. You seem to like it well enough, though. I guess it's going to have to be black. This still has to wrap over the edge, too. Huh. Yeah, if you do me a favor and just, soften up the edges for me. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. You do great work. Excuse me. Excuse me. Where the heck did he go? Dude, seriously? Really? You're getting a little curious, aren't you? Took a few days to come out of your shell. The first 2 days he wasn't even really sniffing, and now he sniffs everything. I'm not sure that's something you need to get used to, though. I don't think that'll support, 120 pounds. But you enjoy it right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Don't fall off. What a nut brain. You do know there's solar panels under there, right? I'm thinking about sewing these together and just making it multicolor, but I think for now, if there's a seam, I think he's gonna lay down there and chew on it. You know what, let's just use the black piece, make it as big as we can with that. And then when summer gets here and he's 4 times as big, we can make a white or cream colored one to leave out here. We could put the other one in the shade somewhere, if he still fits on it then. I was just gonna put a square on this, but if you're careful, your scissors kind of keep it in the rut. Straight enough for our project. He's just about worn himself out in the last 20 minutes, haven't you, buddy? That pet screen is so tough that I wonder if I can't get away with this without sewing at all. If I have the right grommets, and I do. I know I show you guys these every time I do a project like this. If you ever go to buy grommets, grommets almost by definition are going to get a lot of sideways force. So I always buy the ones with teeth on them like that. They grip so much better. I'd normally do a 2-inch fold or 2.5, and then fold a half back under to make it pretty like that. If you're using regular fabric, it makes it way stronger, but I don't think these are going to rip out. Having a 20, 30, 50-pound dog on here, I'll just put extra grommets instead of 3, I'll put 4 or 5 on that edge. So yeah, it didn't take long. It was like 3 minutes laying there and he's shivering already. Come here, you little bundle of joy. Let's go take a nap in the cabin. By let's, I mean it's your turn. You let me get way too much sleep last night. I don't need any more. Let's see, why don't we make a 2-inch side here. Put the grommets in the center of that. So really the wood can come right to there, to that line. I think that'll work. I just remembered, now that there are 2 mouths drinking my drinking water out here, we're going through it fast. Only got a couple gallons left. But as you saw, we took Kuiper to the water last weekend just to see how we liked it, and we filled up all the shower buckets there, so we got to turn some shower water into drinking water. If I can find my old water filter. Hear that plane? It's gone over twice. Pretty sure it's looking for Kuiper. Something could I mean, I just had a feeling in my gut that he had a seedy backstory. Can't be trusted, that one. Right down my boot. Nice work. I would normally do this over by the shower. That's where most of the water is, but the water tower is not filled up yet, so at least if I do it here, I can keep an eye on it. I just remembered I have the perfect lumber here. These are 1.5-inch spruce. I think it's spruce. I don't know if you guys remember when I milled this. It has a little bit of rot. You can see right there, it's kind of marbled in. So I didn't use it for, you know, any structural big projects, but this is exactly what it would be great for. Cut some of that garbage off of there. Oh man, I didn't wear my tuckable jeans. Yeah, that doesn't work very well. That's quite uncomfortable. Wow, that's kind of hard to rip with the battery saw. Surprised it's that tough to get through. I guess we're not going to bother ripping the bottoms of these off. We'll leave that live edge. Just going to face the ground anyway. I mean, these do appear to be a tiny bit rotted on the edge and stuff, but it's just a discoloration. It's not, it's still perfectly good. This thing's going to be a little more beastly than it needs to be. Just make sure it's the right size. Yeah, looks good. Actually, that's pretty big. That'll fit a decent sized dog on there, or maybe Kuiper and Ruby. Alright, if we're making this for a shrimp, then we basically... Yeah, the shrimp woke up. He's out here. He's already so intensely attached that he doesn't like to be any distance away, which is... I just gotta get through it. I try to circular saw something on this end of the bench, and he goes and sits right underneath the saw. I move to the other end, moves right over there. Clearly, we don't want to cut him in half with the saw, but I also don't want to damage his hearing, so I tied him up to a tree. He's only 12 feet away. He doesn't like it, but he'll get used to it. I gave him all sorts of good stuff. He goes back and forth between chewing on a big bone and going to the end of the thing and looking back like, hey, you asshole, did you do this to me? Oh, you're stuck on some weeds. You tied it up to the weeds, buddy. You are literally 15 feet away. Good thing is he doesn't hold a grudge at all. And I've been over here every 60 seconds for the last 15 minutes. Oh, thank you. Thank you for doing that. How about this big disgusting bone? He's got a little bit of ADD right now, but he'll get through it. Just don't like a whining puppy, especially when they're that cute. As I was saying, since he's a shrimp, we don't want this too high. I guess we'll make feet that are, let's go 10 inches. No sense in using up cedar lumber for this, because actually I only have 1-inch cedar. It's the leftovers that I've milled up for the kitchen floor, so why don't we just grab a little log, and actually we can just rip one flat line off of one small log. We need 40 something inches. That'll be easy. He's unhooked and he doesn't even know it. You're looking good. Way to be calm. It's like, I hate you. That became a heavy dog bed. We'll see how tight we can get this. I might have to nip the edges of these so they're not poking up through there. That'll be all right. I don't know. Will it cut that stuff? Ooh, maybe not. Might need some sharpening and a harder piece of wood. This thing's still kicking around here. It was my tester for the cabin floor. Seasoned aspen. Ooh, yeah, that went right through there. Little much, little much. Wrong one? I think I used the wrong one. Unfortunately, this is a new pack. Yeah, it's a new pack of grommets, and I don't have the right size anvil for it. Well, hopefully I got enough of the other kind. Alright, looks like I probably have enough. But I punched these with the wrong size. Can we still get them on there? Nope. You know what? We're going to get them started like that, and we'll have to put them on the ground and get a mallet and really beat them on there. Good use for a stump. Much better. There he is. Did you have a good nap? Are you well rested? God, you're so soft. He likes to use his paws for stuff. Like when I feed him food out of my hand, he bites it and puts a paw on it. It's like he's trying to hold it in place. Excuse me. Here, you stay right there. Can't see over your fro. Oh, thank you. It's your bed. I guess you can eat it if you want. Eat it now or eat it later. No, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Okay, that's good. Thank you. All I gotta do is pound 3 more in, and then we can go in and eat and nap and all that good stuff. You're not helping. I know you think you're helping. That's better. That's not better. Okay, have a look at things over here. I don't know if you noticed, but you're kind of becoming a problem. You're a cute problem, but definitely a problem. So we're on the home stretch here. Get used to it, buddy. Excuse me. What are you doing? Ooh, it's a chilly morning. There were a couple of snowflakes on our morning stroll around the woods, weren't there? Yeah, buddy. Tito and I got a bunch of stuff we want to do outside today. So the creature's going to be out with us. I got to get this bed finished. I went through my hole saws yesterday and I just don't have the right thing to make dowels that we're going to go, I don't know, somewhere right under the grommets and then lace it back and forth. You could kind of put the straps underneath, but there's kind of sharp edges on this and you can't really route it off because it's that live edge. So for now, I'm just going to put screws in there to hold it. Kuiper, get him. Get him.
It's a puppy.
Get him.
Hi, puppy. I do the same thing to myself. Come here, sweeties.
That's funny, he took off away from you.
You don't remember me?
He has a very bad memory, that guy.
You don't remember me?
It's just the smell I can't handle.
Got any washers?
Oh. That's a good idea, I sure do.
Screw them in a little tighter.
Where'd the dog go? What you doing, buddy? He likes it up there because he's off the ground. Hopefully that's kind of like being on the bed. Yep, that's much nicer. Got to make it a positive experience. Give him a whole bunch of treats. Ooh, you're excited about that, aren't you? Oh, buddy.
Yes. Yes.
You make it look like I never feed you. What do you think, dude? So that I would stand on flaming asphalt in order to eat food right now. I got it fairly tight. It still has a little flex in it, which I think is good. What do you think? Are you paying attention to my artistry? It seems like you're not. One little trick I read about to make them like the crate is anytime they're not in there, take a treat or a little bit of food or something and throw it in the crate. So whenever they just happen upon it, they go in there and find something tasty.
Love that.
How's that?
He's gonna love that.
He hasn't gotten down yet. Yeah, good boy. Just becomes such a monster. You put the whole bowl of food down, he doesn't really care. It's like, not too interested. You put it on the floor, put it in a crate, in your hand. It's like a gummy shark. Oh, I forgot you already had breakfast. Oh well. How did you get this big without having ever eaten? Anytime he's not looking, I'll try to leave a little food on here. It just has to be warmer than laying on the wet ground right now. See, isn't it? Do you feel the heat coming from the bottom? Pretty good, right? Feel like taking a nap right here? Lay down, lay down. Lay down. Oh. Hey, you don't eat hands. It's against the laws. It's the only rule of ringworm. Do not eat hands. Yeah. Look at that, would ya? That's perfect. Well, we're just thinking about hooking the winch on the back of the four-wheeler and dragging those logs from the sky deck up here, but it's snowing and I don't really want to get wet. It's supposed to get a little bit worse for a few minutes and then switch to rain, and then it should be over. When you're not expecting it, snow's kind of gross. Are you torturing him? Sounds a little bit like he's dying.
No! No! Oh my gosh! My most important finger.
It's a sitting fire you got there.
Yeah.
If you're into the snow and sleet.
Did you say urine?
All right, let's try out the creation. Perfect. Yeah, it's not the lifting, it's the pulling that'll blow your sphincter out.
Hey, doing my buttons.
I wouldn't let him sleep on my shirt like that. You have a bunch of pinholes in it.
Hey, there you go. There's that.
So that's it, just like the front. That's the clutch. Oh no! Well, I guess we could take that off. I pinched it underneath there pretty good. I think it's probably worth having the engine running for this. You gotta do some longer pulls. We don't really need the winch for this one log, but it has to be tried. Well, here you go, sir. Let me just go ahead and 2 people here and these size logs, you might not technically need that winch. If it's 1 person, I'm not doing it anymore. Something about taking a huge log and pulling and trying to lift up on it is like, it's too scary. Too scary, good way to blow out the back. But if it's more fun to do it with a winch, you do it with the winch. Because them's the rules. You can, of course, just hook these up with a ratchet strap behind the 4-wheeler and drag them up here, but with the trails as muddy as they are right now, everything gets to be such a mess. The logs, the trails, everything. Especially when you got a lot of logs to move. That was easy. If nothing else, it's a really fun use of that winch that's just been sitting around for 5 years. Yeah, dragging them through that stuff is just such a mess. You gotta turn it around. Those are so heavy, they have to go backwards. Fat side.
Watch out, puppy.
If he hadn't already fallen off like 2 different things, I'd say we should introduce him to the sky deck. He may never get to go up there. By the time he's stable enough on his feet, it'll be too heavy to carry up. You can drop it for a sec. There it is. Isn't that sweet?
That's something.
That is something. Just remember, you might be standing in the way of the camera. Oh my god, I love this. It's really working the 4-wheeler suspension. Use your feet.
Yeah.
There it is. That's awesome. I love it.
A little surprised that it's working.
Wow. That's more than a couple 100 pounds sitting up on that little latch right now. It'll pull the weight of the logs all the way down. Nobody knows exactly how it works, but it does. Did the weight go off of that?
Yeah,
Somehow that thing hasn't busted yet. I don't know how.
There we go. You want to give it a ratchet?
I can't even see where the ratchet is.
All right. Yep. Oh, that's not it.
Oh. Where'd he go? Oh, we thought you ran off to find some peace and quiet, but you found your own under there. Dude, you're a little bit too cute. We're gonna have to ask you to go home. That is a heavy load. Put the logs a little bit too close. Like, you want to pull them forward because there's so much weight sitting on the back of the trailer. But if you get them too far forward and you go down in a dip, these will hit here. We've bent these reflectors in a couple times, and oh, I guess it was this I was running into that time. That's not bad, we don't care. See if we can make this turn. Somebody put a dog bed in the wrong spot. Oh, no problem. I almost picked the rear tires up off the ground. Oh yeah, it was. Could have just put one log on at a time, but where's the fun in that? That is truly the best rafter wood that I've seen out here, I think. I don't know, maybe those really big pine trees are as good, but these are very solid and very straight. Don't break your legs. That's real lumberjacks make that noise a lot. It's a tradition. How about we don't break our legs on this one? We use the picaroon on that end and the log ox on the other, and we compare. Both great tools. Before I bought this trailer, I looked at, I don't know, a bunch of different ones and reviews, and this thing got great reviews. The only thing I saw people said they didn't like was that when you put this together out of the box, there's a sleeve right here that goes over two pieces of, I don't know what that is, 1.5 inch square tube. And so there's like wiggle in it right here. You can see in the middle. And some people said they didn't like it, they had it welded. It seems kind of jankety, but it's not. I'm really glad it's there. So if you get the trailer like this with 2 tires on both sides, these tires are so fat and they're so luggy, they've got a whole bunch of grip. So when you grab onto this thing and try to turn the trailer, like if you want to back it up by hand, it's really hard to move around. And sometimes I'll have this thing loaded down and it's not even hooked onto the four-wheeler. So back the ATV up, and then you can lift the tongue up and you can actually move that around to get it on the ball. If that was one piece or welded together, you'd actually have to move the entire trailer. Which, if you got like 500 pounds of gravel in it or something, you can't do that by hand. It's a real pain, so I like it this way. If I was gonna start building the cabin again, and I had this back winch to use, I think I would just grab one more piece of square tubing that's another like 3 feet longer and put it in there. I'd just get the trailer further back, and then the center of balance would be kind of in the right spot instead of doing this to the trailer the whole time. Well, holy cow, if I abuse this thing, and this is what keeps the whole trailer from tipping. So all that weight is on that pin and these 4 little bolts. Nothing's bent, nothing's broken. It just works. I love this thing. So many people asked me about this trailer when I first got it that I put a link in the description of all the videos, you know, along with my big log peeling knife and all that stuff. I don't know if it's still on. I'll put it on this one if it's not on there. I don't know if you can still get them or not, but I'd recommend it. It's like, I think I got it for like 800 bucks or something, and I think it might be like close to double that now. I don't know, but if you need one, it's worth it. It's a great trailer. He's getting so tired, I don't want him to have to walk all the way down here, all the way back up, so he gets a ride every time. He makes me walk. Just doesn't make sense. This thing broke off a second time. You saw in a previous video.
Well, I'll throw some of this in and...
Yeah. Well, let's take these 2 logs and eat a sausage. We'll come back and grab all this stuff and burn it all.
He's tired again.
Yep.
Let me fluff your hair up so you look more goofy.
That's better. Fine, you get it.
Yep. Nice.
That's easy. Wow, those are still in great shape.
Yeah, it is.
Had to take a quick break for some sausages. Look at this, guys. He cooked it in 40 seconds.
Freddy Krueger.
Got some nice green chili squeezy stuff, sandwich pal with horseradish, and what's that other dip called? Artichoke jalapeno.
Jalapeno artichoke.
Yeah. Still cold on the inside. Good though. Tito's getting started on ripping those poles up for cabin studs. I had to bring Kuiper back up here again. Put him back in his crate for another nap. He's got a bad case of, what do they call it? FOMO, fear of missing out. I didn't want him to be around the chainsaw anyway, but we just took him down there while we were setting everything up, and he's immediately zonked. which oddly enough I feel exactly the same. I just can't seem to want to fall asleep or be able to fall asleep exactly when he wants me to. We got all this garbage cleared off the trails and he'll be out for an hour or something, so I'll go back down and show you what Tito's doing. If it was a little bit warmer like this actual spring and summer, it'll be nice because as long as there's not loud noises, Kuiper can just hang out with us. And if he needs to take a 2-hour nap right there on the side of the trail, he can. But he's too little and he doesn't have that double coat yet. Dude, that looks really good.
See that?
Oh, that's fine. That doesn't make any difference, those little dives.
Yeah.
You just like pounded nails from the siding.
Yep.
So it'll be good. Too bad these all aren't a little bit bigger so you get 2 out of every one. Yeah, that one's got some fatness to it. Pretty cool. He is progressing. It's nice to see. You know, he's not gonna live in the cabin. I think it's gonna be about 100 square feet, maybe a little bit smaller. And I think all he's gonna insulate is the ceiling and have the same heater. I think the same heater in there that I have in the man cave. That little sheet metal, I can't remember who makes it, New Way or something. It's like a sheet metal ice shanty stove. And you know, we both camp all winter long, so like when he's out here in the dead of winter and sleeping, still probably not going to have the heater turned on, in which case there's not too much need to insulate the entire thing. Also really cuts down on building supplies. You don't have to make nearly as much. So no insulation in the walls, which will look really cool because you'll see, I assume he's doing cedar, probably 3/4 inch cedar, something like that right there. So on the inside you'll see these like half of a small tree for the stud, and then home milled cedar boards in between. It's gonna be really cool. Well, the meatball and I gotta go run errands for the rest of the day. Tito's gonna have a day sitting by the fire, sitting in the sun, playing the bass. If you want to come back next week, I'm sure he'll be doing something, I'll be doing something, and it'll be like quite a bit, this much or more entertainment. Thanks for hanging out with us. He apologizes for being so whiny right now. He doesn't know what he's doing.